Oh, how do I do a hi that is just not a weird hi? Hi. Sounds so lame.
You're like greetings.
Yeah. Today I'm going to answer your questions as part of the Ask Me Anything series, where you've left me questions in the comments below these videos or via Instagram. So let's get into it. How do I pick a colour palette when I design looks? That's a very complicated question because every job is obviously very different. I'll always work with the team to kind of decide what the makeup and the hair and the styling is going to look like, so it all kind of works nicely and harmoniously. Of course, the makeup decision always falls on me at the end, but it's really important to kind of get the rest of the team involved just to make sure that everything looks really great together and you're all working towards the same vision. How do I manage my time? I have lots of people to help me manage my time. I have an agent who books all my work and books all my transport and kind of looks after my calendar, so she gives me, day-to-day scheduling. I have a PA who basically reminds me of everything that I have to do. So we have a recap at the end of every day of what I have coming up the next day and the next week, things that I've forgotten to do, things that are urgent. And then I have 2 full-time makeup assistants that work with me specifically on my kit and then preparing the makeup side of my job for any travel we might have, or getting specific things ready for different jobs. We might have to go out and source things, or we might have to go and make things. Day to day, I try and either go to the gym or for a run or some kind of exercise first thing in the morning. Then I will either be on a shoot, or I'll be flying out the country to go to a makeup lab, or I will be doing, meetings in town or wherever else. So every day is totally different. What are some of my favorite high street makeup and skincare brands? I mean, Elizabeth Arden has always been a staple. A lot of models always request Elizabeth Arden because her 8-hour cream is like an industry staple, and I really love using it as well. I also love using the lip balm. I mean, to be honest, you get so many great mascaras out there. Even, mascaras that you can pick up in Boots or Superdrug are always kind of good, and the waterproof ones are generally better because they have a kind of like a longer lasting staying power and don't flake as much. Things like lip balm, I have such a hang up about spending a lot of money on things that I could get from a pharmacy. What's the most multi-use product I have? I think products that are all about glowy, glossy kind of textures translate really well to your eyes and your cheeks and your lips. So something like an 8-hour cream is really good because of course you can apply it anywhere and you can get those really nice glossy lids, and it's kind of, moisturizing and hydrating on your lips. Skin illuminators are always really good for an all over, like highlighting your cupid's bow and also your eyes. And then, I have the color sticks at Byredo that are also multi-use. And you can use them for colour on your lips and your eyes and your cheeks, and you've got everything from like amazing kind of like beetly browns to kind of beautiful blues, so you kind of have any colour that you could want for any part of your face. What are my top 3 skincare products? I just did a video all about skincare, so you can check out what I use on there, but I think I'd have to say a vitamin C serum, an SPF and a retinol. So for the vitamin C, I'd say SkinCeuticals. They do a really good vitamin C, or Drunk Elephant do a really great vitamin C as well. The retinol, I would go for the Medicate retinol. It's really, really good, and I definitely notice the difference when I apply it at night and check out my skin in the morning. And there's this new brand I've just discovered called Ultraviolet, and they have a really amazing SPF, and it gives you a very, very nice, beautiful glow. So I use that every day. How do I set my makeup? People often ask about setting, if powders are better or if fixing sprays are better. I think it's a mixture, and it really depends on the environment. Obviously powders are great for certain areas to, prevent shine. I'm not a fan of putting powder all over the face. That's quite a terrifying concept because I'm not really into cakey makeup. But a setting spray sometimes works, and MAC obviously has MAC Fix Plus, which is a really good option. But half the time, the problem isn't actually setting the makeup, it's refreshing it, because especially if you're doing a shoot where you have a model on for like, 10 hours in the same makeup, you don't want to have to take it off and on under all those hot lights, and it can cake and whatever. So often I'll have like a bottle of rose water with me or something that has a very slight pearlescent sheen in. Often I go back in with like a really watery moisturizer just to kind of invigorate the makeup that's already on. How do I keep my brushes and my tools clean? Well, I either use baby shampoo for my brushes or a very gentle wool wash product that you might kind of, buy from the corner store for your wool clothes, because that's got it'll get rid of all of the grease and the dirt, but it'll also protect your brushes, especially if there are any natural fiber brushes that you're using. Washing up liquid obviously is really good. It's an antibacterial. And I always carry an antibacterial spray, and I regularly just go around and kind of spritz my kit. How to deal with under eye bags. Well, I'll do a more in-depth video about this subject because a lot of people ask me. It's obviously a big problem at the moment. No one's getting any sleep. But, I'd always say less is more. I think people get very concerned with the fact that they have dark circles under their eyes and they just want to totally conceal and cover them, and actually you can end up drawing way more attention to your under eye area than if you were to do something very minimal. The natural face has light areas and dark areas, and the under eye kind of balances your brow area. So if you take a really bright concealer all the way up to your eye line, it's going to make you look totally bizarre. So you kind of want to leave a little bit of that natural kind of contour and deeper colour under your eye, just to really balance your whole eye shape and socket. So I'd say when you do apply your concealer, which should be a slightly pinky tone as well, just to counteract any of those like deeper shadows, don't take it all the way up to the eye line. Just gently pat it on with your finger, and you really should be using your little fingers to do it, just so that you don't kind of go any further. You don't really want to be covering a really big area under your eye with concealer. You just want basically about the width of your little fingers when you do it. And finally, you can take a little bit of powder. It's great if you have some with a little bit of pearlescence or luminosity, and you can just pop that in after you've done your concealer just to set it, and also that will help with any kind of reflex from the light. It'll help it bounce back and kind of get rid of all of those under eye shadows and bags. What makeup looks complement any skin tone? There are loads of looks that complement any skin tone. I really love using glossy textures. I think a really beautiful glossy eyelid looks great on anybody, and you can achieve that with, like a kind of a really comfortable lip gloss, or you can even add a kind of sparkly lip gloss, because that also looks really, really great. A really classic red lip is a classic for a reason. And then I think finally a really chunky mascara, because I love a chunky mascara, and I think that looks absolutely great on everybody. So I hope I've managed to answer some of your questions. If I didn't get round to them, please comment below and I will try my best to answer them next time. And I'll see you guys again next week.